is going to be Couch Talk number 4 on intermittent fasting. Common practice found in the up-and-coming fitness industry. We're both participants, and we're just going to share our experience and what we think about it with you. So, first of all, intermittent fasting is just fasting for a period of the day. Normally it's about 16 hours you fast, and then you have an 8-hour eating window. You can break it up however you'd like. It's most common to skip breakfast and eat later on in the day, right up until you go to bed.
I like it because I can eat big meals, and we really do go hard in that 8-hour window. We're active bodies, and we're looking to build muscle, so in that eating window, we eat a lot. However, we also get a chance to be productive in other aspects of life during the fast. I find that in the mornings I can be extremely productive. I can get my homework done, and I can get some reading in and do some basic movement. As for hunger cravings, what do you think here?
I'd say in the beginning it's definitely a transition. You have to get used to that feeling, I'd say, at first. I don't know if
you have to be
that.
okay with it.
Right. But as you get into the schedule and the routine of just skipping breakfast and going about your day, it gets easier and easier. As well as drinking a lot of water. Definitely do that while you're fasting. Black coffee certainly helps. Tea even. Anything that is a 0-calorie beverage that'll sort of fill you up, as well as suppress appetite, which black coffee is great for. Well, the benefits in the morning are incredible. It just feels like it frees up my day. I have a little more time to do the things that I'd like to do. But further than these benefits are the scientific benefits and the things that are happening inside of your body that you might not directly experience, but it's still happening. So there's this hormone called luteinizing hormone that is a precursor to testosterone, and that is increased about 67%, I think one study said, after a 16-hour fast. So whether or not that does correlate to higher testosterone or not, it's hard to really say, but
understanding the natural state of testosterone in the body is important too.
Right.
And so, to begin, there's only 2 to 3 to 4% of your body's testosterone levels that are readily available to link to proteins and therefore build muscle, while 40 to 50% of it is sexually binded to a different hormone that makes it inactive and completely irrelevant to the muscle building process. And finally, the remaining percentage is considered inactive as well, but the bond is weak enough so that it can be converted when needed to a free testosterone that will help you build muscle. And all said and done, it's not exactly our area of expertise, but it's worth understanding if you're going into or going to experiment with something like fasting, where in that final 2 to 3 hours, and maybe more if you want a smaller eating window, your testosterone levels will rise.
Right, it's a completely natural process. You're not taking some supplement that claims it will boost your testosterone.
Right.
And I think that's really important to say, because it's not the same as a supplement. It's not an external thing you're putting inside of yourself, you know?
Yeah. Currently, I've been practicing daily intermittent fasting for about 2 months, going on 3 months, solid, consecutive days. I've experimented before, but never gone even this long. It's not as common as you might think, so it's worth explaining to your family and friends because it is a big life change.
And myself, I've been going since about January, so what's that make it? close to 8 months or so.
Going on more, yeah, 8 or 9 months.
Something like that. But all summer, didn't eat breakfast. Haven't eaten breakfast since last January, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely a big thing. Going back home and having to tell people I live with, I don't eat breakfast anymore. It's weird when I walk downstairs and don't eat something in the morning and people get concerned, and it is worth explaining to them, like you were saying.
Yeah.
The benefits you're trying to go after, that you're not trying to starve yourself. Some people might think that. And it's also important to note that, like we were saying in the beginning, we're eating a lot in that window. We're taking a normal day's worth of calories and scrunching it into the window. It's not like we're cutting out those calories from breakfast. We're trying to eat just as much as we would in a normal day in that 8-hour window.
Right. It's definitely associated normally with losing weight. I think it's generally considered a tool for losing weight because eating in a smaller window makes it easier to eat less calories overall and still feel satisfied. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you are doing it for the gains, the natural testosterone gains, and because you prefer it that way in your schedule, please don't let us be the guys that tell you that you have to short yourself, because you shouldn't do it. You need to be okay with eating big meals, and you need to be okay with being hungry throughout the day. These are just things that you have to mentally disconnect from and disassociate with so that you don't let them take over your daily life.
As you start doing things in the morning, you have all this time to do stuff. Make sure you keep yourself busy and you're actually being productive, because it'll just take your mind right off the food, and you won't feel hungry until, I don't know, whenever your window's nearing its end, but normally that's 3 o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
You start saying, oh, okay, I could go for a meal right about now, I'm a little hungry. But up until that point, as long as you're keeping busy, you should be pretty fine.
Well, I stopped normal and I started the intermittent fasting. So the other approach you can take is slowly inching in the time on each end of the day. And if you're someone who's largely reliant on food throughout the day, I mean, you probably want to take the process slowly.
Right. I remember when I first started, also, I don't know why it made more sense in my head then, but on days where I was working out, I would fast. That way I'd be working out on an empty stomach. And then on days I wasn't working out, I wouldn't intermittent fast. And I did that probably for the first month or so until I realized I just wanted to do the whole thing, intermittent fasting. But if you'd rather go one day on and one day off, just to, test it out, try it out, slowly work your way onto it. If you even want to just do 2 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever you'd like, you can do it that way as well. It's not like you have to just do that immediate switch. Boom.
Yeah, how strict are we? I mean, generally because we're students and we do a lot of stuff on our own, we're pretty strict about it. It's easiest. We are 2 of 4 people who live in an apartment, and we just do as we like because that's how life is. But on the other side of things, if I were to go home, I wouldn't be very strict about it. I wouldn't feel bad about breaking fast early for a family reunion or something like that.
Right. I think it's also important, family functions and just normal social events shouldn't hold you back.
Totally not. Not at all.
I mean, if you're, like you said, if you're going to break fast early for a family breakfast or a family
something,
brunch, whatever it may be, I mean, it's one day going off of the schedule is not going to affect you. And just think, I mean, plenty of people have made plenty of gains with a regular diet.
It's usually between 3 and 5, and we get a meal in, and then a few hours go by, less usually, go to the gym.
An hour or two.
Yeah. So generally now, we get a meal in before we go to the gym, because we train together daily. We don't always work out fasted, train fasted.
But there are times where we do.
We
And
do,
I think,
yeah.
you know, it's important to feel the difference too. I can totally
Yeah.
tell when, you know, when I have a fasted workout, it's sort of, I feel light and
Agile. You just feel a little
you
bit
feel
more
different, you know?
Yeah.
It's not quite the same, and I encourage you to experiment on your own
Yes.
and figure out what you like best. Some people need something in their stomach before they go work out,
Yeah.
and that's totally valid as well. So find out what works best for you.
Logically, though, if you were to eat and then work out or then train, but versus training fasted, option A would be harder because you're lifting more weight. So you could look at it that way and just try the fasted workout. Yeah.
The cycle is pretty good. It just
Definitely.
it works out so that I go to bed feeling good. You know,
Yeah.
I have a full stomach.
In terms of sleep on a full stomach, some people say they can't do it, but we happen to be in the boat that says
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Bring it on. As you're sleeping, your body's doing the most recovering, so it would make sense almost to have more calories readily available to help around your body
To help digest
and
it.
recover. You know?
Recover, absolutely. We'd recommend to try, but not be terribly strict. It's not meant to be something that will ruin your social life, because these things are important. And considering holistic health and fitness, this is definitely something that benefits the picture overall, because you can naturally raise your testosterone levels. So give it a try. Let us
Absolutely.
know in the comment section below what you think of the video. And this has been Couch Talk number 4.